Hello, this is Abina at Cross Keys Crafts. Today with a really quick card. I actually created this style a few days ago, but I've already given the card away. But I will insert a screenshot quickly here. And I would like to remake this card, but not as a new home card, but as a thank you card. I've got family staying in the village at the moment, and some locals basically got the house ready quite quickly to let it to them. And I thought it would be nice to have a thank you card in a similar style. This style has been inspired by Natalie from NB Cards. I really like her clean and simple style, and I've just sort of, although I always admired it, I follow a few other people like Christine Stokes, but her style really inspired me to try a few of these things, all the techniques she shows. So I've got scrap cardstock here. Some for die cutting, well, all for them for die cutting, and this one's for making the sentiment strip. And I have got the same ticket die here. I think that's what you call it, like a tag die. This house die, that's from the latest release by Sam Calcott. I treated myself to the, I think it's called the Snow Globe set. It's from the 3D... Oh, can't even think of the name now. It's the round display things, and I treated myself to these, so because I had lots of little houses in there, but I like to use the one with a little heart. And then these here, I'm using a different key die today. These are from Germany. I think they're from Action, so but any key die would work. It doesn't even have to be that. A house would just be nice. Or don't forget, you can cut things by hand. You don't always need to have die cuts for everything. And then I'm using the same stencil here again for the card base. I'm using a different colour scheme today. I decided to go for some blue, and I'm using the Blue Lagoon from Lavinia Stamps today. Yeah, and I think this is all we need. I am working straight on my card base. I've got a top folding 5 7/8 by 4-inch card here, so I basically cut this from A4. I said that I think in my last video, this is the, well, if I say usual 300 GSM, this one's got a different quality, and also when mine came in the post, all these corners, well, I don't know if it's all of them, but definitely one side of a package is damaged, so I'll have to think about something to do with the rest of this. Probably I could just cut the panels and then put them on the others, on the other side of the card. But yeah, but because I'm working straight on the card base, I'm putting a piece of scrap paper in between so nothing ends up on the back. I'm placing this down here, and I'm just loosely placing my stencil down. I don't want to use it all over, just push it up a little bit as well. I just want to put a little bit of ink down in the background. So because I think I will put my sentiment again at the bottom, I will cover this all over. With the other card, I just put ink down here and found it was missing something there. So I basically do it in a similar style. So just testing this. So I'll start here at the top. I tell you what, because I will have the ticket there, I might actually go a little bit further to the right there. And with this one here, I find it could go with a bit of a swirling motion to catch everywhere. Just fade it out towards the edges, and then I'm working my way down here. Doesn't have to be very even. It's really just to set the elements off on the white card base. So I think this is enough. You can always lift it like this and put it back down, but I'm happy with that. So I can take this off now. So place this to the side. So the other thing I'm inking up. Oops, I just dropped it on the floor. It's one of those days today with butterfingers. So is this piece of cardstock for the ticket die. And I want to give that a generous coating because I would like to put a bit of water splats on there for some texture. So I need a bit of ink down there to see the difference between the dark and the light areas. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I sometimes like this sort of cloud look because it brings some interest to the card. And then the other thing I need to do is ink up a little bit of this strip because we need that for the background for the letter dies or letter punches. I think half of this will be enough. So then I will just take my water bottle and give that just a little spritz. And let me just lift that to the camera so you've got an idea. Don't know if the camera picks it up. So I'm leaving that to sit for a moment, and then I will dry it with my heat tool just on the first setting. I don't want this to warp too much, but I want this to be, well, I want to be able to work with this soon after. But I'm leaving it to sit for about 2 minutes. In the meantime, I will cut my dies here. The house I only need once, but the key I will cut 3 times because I want this to be sturdy and I would like this to have some dimension. So I've die cut all my elements. Just want to show you the texture on this piece here. I think this is really, really nice. So I'm going to layer 2 of these key dies, and I'm just using my 2-way zig glue because that's the best one for intricate die cuts. And I'm just applying the ink. I've shown this lots of times before. It's blue, the ink, whilst it's still wet, and when it gets tacky it is clear, and then you know you can put the other piece on here. And I'm just doing 2 at the moment because I will use the third part to use it as where it comes off the edge to make up for the height here. So placing this one on top, I'm actually picking it up as well. Oops, so actually to pinch it into place and make sure it's aligned. As of late, I decided to use die cuts for dimension rather than putting foam underneath. Obviously this is really tiny anyway, but I find it's so much of a neater finish if you do that. So the next thing I need to do is put some ribbon on this. On the original card I just used some embroidery floss or embroidery thread, but that was a bit fiddly. So this one is just a cut off of a t-shirt, you know, where when you buy them and these bits hold the t-shirts on the hangers. That's all that this is. So I'm just going to thread this through, and just thinking whether I want a knot before that. No, I think that'll be fine. So a bit shorter here and just putting a knot in the top. My fingers are not functioning today. Makes me sound like an old woman. There we go. So cut this off. I like to cut them off at an angle. And the other thing I like to do is use a lighter on the edges just so that it stops from fraying. So what I do is make sure I'm not too close to the paper and the card, so that you can't see the flame in this one, but it's the heat that we want. That's it. You can see when it shrinks a little bit that it's sealed off properly. So I'm leaving that to cool for a moment. So, and now I can place the elements on the card. By the way, I kept the hearts that were cut out of here and out of here. I might use them on the card as well. So to place it down on the card, I will just use my magic glue. So I think on the other one, I can't remember now, without looking at my screenshot, I had it straight. Also put it on an angle, but I know I want the key at an angle, so I might leave this one straight. So I'm having a little play now. No, I'll put it at an angle. I think that's nicer. Sorry, my glue's not cooperating as well today. So I think that will be enough. So I'm placing this down here now. Because it's a tiny bit warped still from the water, I will just press it down firmly, even using my bone folder to just press it down. Try not to get any marks on it though. If you're worried about getting marks from your bone folder, put another piece of paper on the top. So that's adhered nicely. So now I can pull this in place, and I want the knot to sit at the top there. Let me zoom in a little bit as well for you. So I want the knot to be at the top, so I've got a bit of room here to pull the key down. One thing I didn't take into consideration is that this overhangs a little bit. I probably could have placed it down a bit further, but it doesn't matter. You could also have the knot there, but I don't like that, so I'll have it at the top there. So, and now once I have a play with this, I know how much I need of the third key, and I think I just actually use the bottom bit and the rest will sit on this tag here. So I'm just cutting this one off. Place some glue on here. And I'm using my tweezers because this is getting fiddly now. As before, I'm pinching it into place and then I can press it down. So, and then I will apply glue all over the back. Sometimes I draw lines, sometimes I just dot it on like this. I won't put any glue on the top here because I want the ribbon to move nicely whilst I'm putting it in place. This is one of those days I'm trying to put the magic glue cap on that pen. Jesus. So want most of the key to be on the tag and then it just hanging off like this. So then I can just glue the house into place. I want this to be straight on the tag, as in straight, yeah, on the tag itself, not on the card. So, and now all I need to do now is to create the sentiment strip. I have decided, because I've been using them a bit more recently, these word punches, to record a separate video now whilst I'm making this, and then I will insert the link of that video how I created this strip, rather than putting it in here and then having refer to the whole video. So I have punched my sentiment here, the thank you, and as before I'm just using my two-way zig glue and adding it generously, especially on the loose bits here around the letters. Make sure they are adhering properly, because you wouldn't want anything to get caught in these bits. So I'm also applying it generously around here, and also a little bit further, because I'm not quite sure yet of how much I will actually cut off. With the other card I had it go all to the edge. So giving it a moment to dry, and then I can place it here on my, a bit private there, let me place it here on my inked up strip. So I'm leaving that for a moment to dry. Then I will cut this with my guillotine, just so it's got the same space at the bottom that it has on the top. And then it's up to me how far I want to place it. On the other card I moved it in a little bit, I think, can't remember now, I had intended to. So I could cut it off here, or I could cut it evenly on either side. I think I did that actually in the other card. So I could place it a bit lower. I might actually do that, but I think, well, I could move it all that way and still cut it here. I'll have a little play off camera, and then I'll just show you the finished card. So here's my finished card. I did decide in the end to cut it off there and just place it in the middle, and I think I did that on the other card as well, basically because I wanted the stencil to be visible here. It's very faint, but I think it looks a bit more framed if I cut it off there. But yeah, it's a very simple card. As I said, for a new home you can obviously change these elements and make it suitable for other occasions as well. And yeah, I'm really liking this style, and I think I will make more cards of these as I go along. So I could imagine that as a get well soon card. I just created this for the separate punchboard video, so I could have that on a card with the same tag element, but putting something else on here, like a little flower element or so. So yeah, I think this is really cute. And if you like this one too, you might want to give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. And I'll see you soon with another video.